You're probably wondering, who's this man in between us today on the Horseshoe Theory Pod? Who is this fella standing between our Chad and I? Have you ever heard of the linguistics iceberg? That title thumbnail combination?
Philosophy tier list.
Philosophy tier
Philosophy
list?
tier
Jordan
list?
Peterson and F tier.
With Jordan Peterson and F tier?
I could not even be that guy. Like,
It's
if
very
you think
possible.
about it, like you could be using a AI to voice change me right now,
That's
and I
true.
could just be a different person.
I think people would know, though, that we don't have the capabilities to do that.
We do.
AI could totally do that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the future.
Yeah, I mean, there's enough audio. There's enough audio on the internet of my voice that you could probably do a Duncan voice.
I've
AI.
heard people do like AI versions of me, but it's not good.
It's not good.
I'm like, this isn't me. This is a robot.
I mean, I did an AI Jordan Peterson video, and it didn't sound that good. Like,
No.
it was pretty good, but like, could have been better.
I thought AI was the future, though.
I mean, it's getting better, you know.
Have you seen the new celebrity ones? Like there's
Like
like
the
a
deep fakes.
there's a big boost in deepfakes now. I saw one of Steve Harvey like with a bottle of whiskey like crying into the ground. It looks so real.
Well,
It looks like a Polaroid photo. Like they look like Polaroid photographs, so like they look more real because they already look altered.
right.
So interesting. Or that guy fighting the crocodile over pizza. Have you seen that one?
No.
Yes, I did see the pizza
man.
one. That was good. That was
Crazy.
good.
Guys, I think we haven't really taken in the fact that this is Duncan Clark
This is
from the
big.
YouTube channel Duncan Clark, which used to just be Duncan.
Yeah,
Duncan,
I
how did
changed it?
How did we meet?
On the street.
On the streets
of Toronto.
Yeah,
This is like a year back.
a year ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very spontaneous.
indeed. And now look at us.
Now look at us.
Now look at us.
starting
We're on a
studio.
couch.
Yeah, we're on a
Episode
couch.
We're
three of
monetizing
the
a conversation that we're having.
Horseshoe
Yeah.
Theory Pod, episode
Incredible.
3. Where did that come from?
Shit.
Cut that.
One sec.
It's exciting. Actually, it is funny that you just said hi, and now you're here.
Yeah, I just like went up to you guys and I'm like, hey, you've DM'd me. Or like you've commented on my videos before.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because at first the initial interaction was like I came up and I'm like, oh, you're Greg, right? And he's like, yeah, like classic fan interaction type thing. And I'm like, oh no, you've seen my videos. And then it was like the
We're
vibe
equals.
shifted. Yeah,
Yeah, it's true. It's true. The power dynamic immediately shifted.
yeah.
And then JJ's hospitality.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have revealed my power level so early.
Yeah, you should have just kept it a secret. Then what?
Yeah, then,
What's the long game there?
yeah, I guess there isn't. There really. I just kind of wanted to say power level.
Duncan, we want to get your thoughts on a few books. What do you think about this one? 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene.
Well, it's actually I haven't read that, but it's written by a fellow YouTuber.
Oh,
because
yeah.
he makes YouTube videos now.
Yeah, he has so much power, he thought, I think people should associate my face with my ideas. That was a mistake. That was a big mistake. Google Robert Greene and you'll know why that's a mistake.
He's just a little turtley look.
He's
What
a
did he
little-
used to look like? Because he's just old now.
I'm pretty sure he always looked like a little scorpion man.
Little turtley?
Yeah.
Little lizardy?
Yeah, a little lizardy.
Well, a lot of his videos are like video essay style too, so he doesn't even show his face.
Oh, that's probably a good choice. Now, see,
Yeah. That's why I don't show
If
my
if
face.
I was making the laws of power, I'd be like, no, law number 49: never Google Robert Greene. Never find out what
you
I
already
look like.
you did this exact bit on the Sisyphus podcast.
I
I'm
did?
pretty sure, yeah.
I really hate this guy. I have no respect for Robert Greene. Do you think if we like shoved Robert Greene into a locker, like how would that change his? Do you think he'd like do a power analysis afterwards?
Yeah, he would like weigh up the situation. He would be like, okay, I lost that encounter, but next time I have to get revenge. And if I don't get revenge, then
49th law of power, be physically stronger than your opponent.
Yeah, that he never even mentions being physically stronger than your opponent. I mean,
well, because it's all mind games
Yeah.
that he's playing.
what do you think about Deleuze and Guattari, A Thousand Plateaus, as a philosophy man?
I have not read it.
This was in your philosophy iceberg, though.
It was.
Ah, interesting.
I read secondary sources.
Yes,
and,
the only proper way to consume that.
And
Yeah.
I have read a lot of philosophy though. I'm not a fraud. Trust me.
This book is like impenetrable.
I'm terrified of being found out as a fraud.
Why did you keep your face private until now? Like, this is so brave of you. You're kind of like a hero and a legend.
Well, I reserve the right to decide later.
Okay.
To do audio only.
Okay, otherwise we'll have the dream mask over you.
Dream
Yeah,
mask.
yeah, superimpose something.
Yeah, and then it's even more believable that it's just we got you to like voice over some random guy.
Yeah, you do the voiceover anyway to make it not sound like me at all.
Duncan, you're kind of blowing up. You're kind of exploding onto the scene.
Thanks, man. It feels pretty good.
How does that feel? How long have you been making videos for?
Like 2 years on and off, something like that.
And you have a fake job. In the studio, we call your real job a fake job because your real job is making YouTube videos for YouTube.com.
Correct. I do have a fake job.
And so you've just been cracking away at YouTube, and now you're experiencing that success.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
100,000 subscribers.
Yeah, wait, what are you at now? Did it keep?
It's still going. I'm at like approaching 110 now.
Oh shit!
very nice.
Oh my god, man.
We got to kill you. We got to kill you
Yeah,
before you surpass us.
Yeah.
That's one of the laws of power. Kill people that are about to surpass you and absorb their power.
Yeah.
Because of course YouTube is a zero-sum game
Yes.
in a sense. Because I mean, you could be subscribed to multiple people, but you have a finite amount of time to watch
Dang,
videos.
that's true.
So
That's-
if they're watching my videos, that's precious time that they're not watching your videos.
Shit.
Think about it.
It's a real red pill moment for me.
Yeah. Are we all competing?
Yeah, there's no such thing as friendship in the YouTube game. It's a vicious hierarchy of who's going to waste their time watching our videos more.
There's a guy sitting sweating like the button pressing meme, and it's like the linguistics iceberg. Your video, my video.
And he's trying to figure out
And
which
my
one to
videos
press.
are so long too, so I'm
Yeah.
I'm really stealing.
Yeah,
away.
yeah, it's true.
There's a text that says like, "Be here in 15 minutes." You have one YouTube video you can watch. He's like freaking out.
It's not wasting time though, because we're making edutainment. So it's entertaining, but it's also
Edutainment.
educational.
I don't know if any piece of information is worth knowing. I don't know
I
if
think-
any of it's made my life better.
Speaking of which, that was part of my answer because you haven't asked me why I haven't killed myself yet. Which love that question, by the way.
Well, we try to
gonna
spring it
segue
on you
into
at a
that?
random time.
Okay. Well, I felt it coming. I know it's coming.
Well, this is actually one of the laws of power is anticipate the question, then answer the question before I can ask it. I've just been mogged. I've been dunked on.
On the
you got
train,
dunked
on the
on.
train here, I was like neurotically preparing for like the questions.
What if we just never asked it to you?
Then I would have wasted all that time. I could have been listening to podcasts.
Well, let's make it official. Duncan from Duncan Clark. Why haven't you killed yourself yet?
I mean, that's one thing. Learning facts and expanding my perspective.
Right,
It
learning.
is. I mean, the question itself is it's an absurd question because I haven't killed myself, and I'm not a particularly mentally ill person, fortunately. So I haven't really had those thoughts. But I do think it leads to interesting conversation because you kind of have to get down to like what do you enjoy about life
Right.
type of thing, which I think is an interesting question. I think a big chunk of it is honestly just guilt. Even though I'm mentally healthy, out of all the animals I could have been, I've thought about this for years. Out of all the animals I could have been, I'm a human, which is like the best animal to be by far. I'm not a pig in a factory farm. I'm a human, which is pretty sweet. And almost every single human that's ever existed was like a hunter-gatherer, and that would have sucked. But I was born in the 21st century in a developed country, and I have opportunities. I'm a white man, straight man.
Hey, up top.
Yeah. Yeah. I shouldn't have but the social brain was like, oh, high five. I'll do that.
You're right. It's a good time to be alive.
Yeah.
And to squander that opportunity by getting stressed about little tiny things in the grand scheme of the universe.
Yeah.
A little silly.
Or to throw it all away, Not,
Yeah.
And again, it's like mental illness is serious. Like you can have everything and still not feel like you want to live.
I think mental illness is not serious at all.
Yeah. I mean,
I think it's pretty funny.
I mean, it's becoming increasingly normalized too, because even as a mentally healthy person, if I encounter a very minor frustration
Yeah.
or something, my internal monologue is I should just kill myself.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, is part of the issue that we entertain that concept too much?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's good. I don't think that's gonna bode well.
Yeah.
I think I as a mentally ill person, I can say mental illness is pretty funny, objectively. It's like
What are you sad? What are you sad or something?
I can't do it anymore. It's too hard. What's too hard? Everything. What's too hard? Everything's too hard. Life is too hard in general.
And especially, I mean,
I'm anxious.
that is insane though. That mental illness is that serious. That even like being a human alive right now is awesome.
Yeah.
Like it's so like despite the issues with society, and stuff like that, like being a human is awesome. And some people are like, yeah, no, this sucks, and that's crazy. Like, yeah, that's wild to me.
I second that. I think it's fucking great to be alive.
Yeah, life is just fun, but some people can't access that fun, and that's a tragedy.
Yeah.
It sounds like I'm speaking facetiously, but I'm 100% serious.
Right. Some people can't access that fun.
You ever heard the theory that you have like a range of emotions, but you put your head in your hands as soon as I said that, because you can't access the fun.
Wait, what's the point you're making?
Access.
You can't access the fun.
Access. Access. I think
access
I
or
need
excess?
nicotine gum. Do you want some nicotine gum?
Yeah, I do.
Some nick gum in the pod.
Some ASMR gum.
Take this from my sweaty hand.
I think because I chewed so much in the last podcast, I'm going to go for a lozenge this time. And then instead it'll be a sucking sound.
That's so much. The listeners are going to love this.
I'm just gonna hold the mic away this time and not chew into it.
I have
a little bit.
I have no qualms with adding some ASMR.
The most uncomfortable ASMR there is.
So today we're going to be talking about why Duncan Clark from Duncan hasn't killed himself.
Have you guys seen that video of like the ASMR of a guy just like rubbing a cheese grater against his mic? It's pretty funny. It's like the most disturbing sound.
I've seen beard ASMR, like Minecraft YouTubers with their fucking gamer beards, and they're like,
Yeah,
That's
beard
whack.
scratching ASMR is. Yeah.
Did you see? There's one where he cocks guns and it's like gun ASMR. He, like,
I love
gun
that
sounds. Yeah, that's
It's
funny.
so good. The range of emotion thing, though, not accessing the joy of life.
Yeah.
It's like a theory that everybody has like a unique range of emotion they can experience. So some people, their range, let's go like 1 is just like suicidal depression and 10 is like bliss. Some people are stuck at like 2 to 6. So everything's either like just okay or overtly negative. Then some people are stuck at like 6 to 9, where they're like either doing pretty good or awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's just how much you can experience.
And is that all biological?
I mean, yeah, this is
Because
like
you're just
nature,
biologically less
nurture.
neurotic than me.
Yeah, but
I
like,
want it.
There's an
Give it
environmental.
to me.
There's a component of nurture to it too, though, like the environment.
So it's my
allowing you to
mom's
have fun.
fault. And my mom, as we've established, is real.
Yeah,
As
the only
opposed to
real
everything
thing.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that theory specifically is it's genealogy, it's genetic. Like they're positing that it's like you're born with a range of emotions and you were stuck with that.
Yeah.
Like if you can't experience like super super high positive emotion, you never will.
Yeah. I like to think that my ancestors were like the guy when a bunch of people were walking and there was like a bush rustling. They were like, ah! And then they like one time in every 100 that like saved them from getting eaten by a tiger.
We need those people. That's the thing. Or we needed them at one time. Now it just kind of sucks.
Shit.
Now it's just
You know, here I'll give you an example. This community stuff we're building. I was neurotic about that for a while, but the neurotic element of myself allowed me to recognize what I was missing, which was community. Whereas most people didn't have the community, and they didn't even know that they didn't have the community because they didn't know what they were missing. They weren't neurotic enough to realize they had like a stab wound in their side. And I was like, oh man, I've got a stab wound in my side. I always knew that I had a stab wound in my side. And then that let me do something about the stab wound in my side to the point where people are like, oh, I'm realizing I have a stab wound in my side. I would like physical community as well.
But here's the thing. Does the neuroticism, is that what helps you identify what the problem is? Or is it just increasing the intensity of the problem?
That's a good question.
Does it, like, I feel like the neuroticism would just make it feel worse, but I feel like it might not make it any easier to identify, like, what's causing the problem.
I am trying to justify my own existence here, you motherfucker.
I mean, you were right, I'm pretty sure. You know, I was missing community, for sure.
Right. I my cope is that it's helped me, like, it helps me be more perceptive and act on things. Because I feel so uncomfortable when I'm not acting on it that I have to. But, you know, there's probably a way to do that in a non-neurotic fashion. But you know, I'm just...
Neuroticism is like a motivating force.
I think I am inseparable from my neuroticism. It's so woven into my identity that I can't escape from it.
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How? Like, you think you can't escape at all?
No, I think no matter what happens, no matter what position I am in, I'm always going to be neurotic, and that's fine. I think part of what makes neuroticism bad is trying to run from it, is like not accepting it as part of yourself.
Yeah.
Because when you run from it, that's when it gets unbearable.
Yeah.
It's like your brain is telling you, this sucks, and instead of doing something about it, you're just like, no, it doesn't. I'm gonna smoke weed. I'm going to figure out how to distance myself from the emotion.
Right.
But actually, you know, as long as I am acting on the things that my neuroticism is telling me to act on, then I feel okay.
Yeah, if you stop running, things stop chasing you.
But what if you can't identify it? What if you're just like, something's wrong, but I can't figure out what it is?
I think that you need, I think I can always figure out what it is with enough time if I think about it. If I like actually try to like pinpoint it. Because sometimes depression feels like a dark cloud, but it's like, the cloud is actually made up of things, specific things that you can identify. That's why like therapy helps people. It's because you like put words on the dark cloud, and then you're like, oh, actually, this dark cloud is 6 things, and I can probably kill this 6th thing, like number 6, the weakest one, today.
Yeah.
And then number 5 I can beat in a week, and number 4 I can beat in a month.
Cutting the heads off the Hydra.
Yeah.
Doesn't that make it worse?
Yeah, no, because if you cut the head, 2 more come back.
Okay, so don't.
That's not the best analogy.
So don't solve your problems. Have 3 major problems, and then those are your reasons to live. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then solve the little ones, but don't cut all the heads off, or else
Or else you won't have any problems anymore.
Yeah, and you need problems.
I really don't think I'm going to run out of problems.
Yeah, I don't think anyone runs out of problems.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the hedonic treadmill thing. It's like even if you achieve the perfect life that you thought you needed like 5 years ago, once you reach that, there's a whole set of other things. You're like, oh, I could do all these other things, and it would be even more perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
And it never stops.
Well, at what point in your YouTube career where 100K subs seemed unachievable? Where you were like, I'm so small, this is so to reach for me, and like if I got that, I would be ecstatic. Like, was there a point where you had that?
I mean, I think my ego is so inflated that I always thought I could.
Wow.
I thought I could reach this level at least.
Yeah.
Damn.
And now that I've done that,
I got to get me some of that.
Some of that go.
some of that good ego.
Gotta siphon some of the go, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's something I've wanted to do for a while, and it's something that I figured that, like, if I worked hard enough at, I could eventually achieve, like, a mild level of success.
Yeah.
But then once I actually got there, I just didn't feel anything.
Yeah. Okay, so at what subscriber growth level did you stop getting excited for 100K? Where you were like, okay, now it's like, it's just going to happen, and I don't care about it anymore.
Probably, I mean, the linguistics iceberg completely blew me up like crazy. Like,
Yeah.
I think that took me from 50 to 100
That's crazy.
almost entirely.
It's crazy. for one
Nice
video.
double.
It's 1 million views, right?
Yeah,
Damn.
pretty good. I'm very
Yeah.
grateful for my fans. I shouldn't call them fans. It's a bad word.
Duncan heads?
Clarkers.
Duncan heads.
Dunkers? Dunkoids?
Leave a comment with what I should call my audience.
Yeah.
Engagement.
No, that is good engagement.
Yeah.
I want to tell the story. So, a couple nights ago, we were out, and someone had recognized me, and then it was a group of like university students, and I pointed at you, and I was like, I kind of like jokingly said like, "Does anyone know the linguistics iceberg?" And then one guy was like, "Whoa, you're Duncan!"
Yeah. That felt very cool.
Even though they had never seen your face, they knew who you were just based off the title thumbnail combination.
Yeah.
You're like famous from a title thumbnail combination.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. I mean, in some ways, I feel like I'm hesitant for the face reveal thing because, like, as cool as that felt, and as cool as I think it would be meeting people that like the stuff I make in the future, I feel like it would get annoying, you know? Like, if I'm, like, just trying to live my life.
Yeah, but also, you'll feel good.
That's true. It did feel very
And
nice.
also, like, I've never been recognized, and if I didn't want to talk to the person, they wouldn't just go away.
Okay. Yeah, I suppose that's good.
Yeah.
But
So-
then you kind of feel like an asshole, you know? I mean, yeah, you just kind of have to get over that. I
You have to
suppose.
get over that.
Yeah.
The universe is calling you in a certain direction, Duncan. That direction is
Involves my face.
face
on the
reveal,
internet.
specifically right now on Horseshoe Theory Pod. But if not, Dream Mask, which will also be funny.
Yeah.
I'll do the face tracking because otherwise Brogan's gonna like manually.
I should, like, move my head around as much as possible.
I would do it manually.
Yeah.
I'd spend all day
Just make
keyframing it.
Just make the Dream Mask so big that like even if he
It
moves
just
around.
obscures my entire body.
Yeah.
Oh my god, man.
When were you the most neurotic in your life?
High school.
Yeah?
Late high school, for sure. It's not even close. University helped me quite a lot. with like my mental health for sure.
Interesting.
Because I found community. That's what it's all about.
Were you
Man.
just atomized in high school?
I mean, I had a really good friend group, and we would hang out a lot, but I don't know. I would just like isolate myself a lot. But then when I got to university, I really wanted to have like a classic university experience, I guess. So I put in a lot more effort to like put myself out there and like meet new people.
Yeah.
And I think that was really good.
Cool.
It's kind of good we have the kind of university myth, the collective like college lifestyle myth.
I think it's really good.
Because
And-
you'll just force yourself to live it out because you know it's a thing, right? You'll get to university and you're like, oh, this is what someone in university or college does. I'm going to do this thing because it's archetypal. And then you'll do
yeah.
it.
I wish it wasn't so expensive. Like, I think everybody should have that. I think in the early, like, 18 to 21,
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that's, or 22, that's, like, the age where you should be doing that type of thing. Like, I had a tweet a little while ago about, like, the value of university. Now, this might just be humanity's cope, but the value of university is the environment that you're in. Like,
Yeah.
it's the listening to intelligent people talk about things and, like, meeting people that are curious about the world and want to learn things, and getting a taste of independence. Like that's so big for like personal development, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
But a lot of people just don't have access to it, which is a bummer.
I know, I saw this story. It was like this inspiring story in a newspaper about this 10-year-old who started like an online business and like he's saving for university. Isn't this like a beautiful story?
It's
And
like, no, that's
a 10-year-old
horrible.
boy is like starting 8 years early, sacrificing his childhood to save to just get a fucking secondary education.
Yeah,
I think that's a beautiful story.
You think it's a beautiful story?
That's like a story of a Grussler
Yeah.
choosing the god of capital early.
yeah, that's like those stories. It's like, oh, you know, epic wholesome. Like, you know, this family had to do a GoFundMe to afford cancer treatments because they live in the United States, and it's like, it's not wholesome. That sucks. Like they should just get that.
People Are Awesome compilation 2023. Just someone just survives. Someone just doesn't die of like a curable illness.
Well,
Because of fucking GoFundMe. People are awesome.
well, what else were they supposed to do? Like complain, be Marxist on the internet?
It would be better engagement.
Speaking of which,
Getting cancer treatment for free is Marxism.
This is a good. This is a good segue into The Fountainhead by Ayn Rand. What do you think of this one?
Have not read it.
Read it now.
Yeah, it's like, hold on, let me just read this entire book.
Specifically,
real quick.
like, look how thick this book is.
You just do a time lapse of me reading the entire book.
I was
Pull out
really-
a page.
I-
Take a random page out and just read. I want to get kind of horny.
Oh, dude, if people watch my tier list video and then they see this and they see I haven't read The Fountainhead, they're gonna be so mad. It's like, oh, that's why you put Ayn Rand low tier because you haven't read The Fountainhead.
I was kind of just asking you to vibe check Ayn Rand, but I really none of this stuff is worth reading, even ironically. I don't think.
That's a well written book.
Yeah.
Yeah, I quite like.
I read most of Atlas Shrugged, and it felt so heavy handed with like.
The sex scene that's like allegory for her and capitalism.
Yeah, and just the allegories were so heavy-handed where it's like I know exactly what you're trying to do. Like you should have just written a philosophy book at that point. Like it's so long. It's I don't know.
I know the first chapter of this book is the main character like looking over a quarry, or, like over a field, and just describing how he wants to like tear all the dirt and build buildings in this giant field. And I think that's the opening of the book. He's like, and he imagine ripping the dirt with his bare hands out of the ground and constructing skyscrapers like God. Like there's some fucking long. It's pretty great though.
Humans Are Awesome compilation, the book.
Yeah. You know, I have this for context. This is a vintage copy of The Fountainhead from the 50s, hardcover.
wow.
And I
You
had
get
a
it off like eBay or something.
no, I have this thrift store find.
Oh wow.
I had a friend come over and nod off on heroin and spill whiskey on it, and now
Jeez.
it's ruined,
Oh fuck.
and the whole inside's all fucking stuck together.
I mean that's a story, I suppose. I mean a sad story, but
Is there allegory there? Is there something there? Like nodding off on heroin, spilling whiskey on a copy of the Fountainhead, a vintage copy.
yeah. I mean there's a metaphor there somewhere.
Yeah. It's like spilling whiskey on the Bible.
Yeah,
Damn.
tragic.
Or like people that like cut out in the Bible and like hide a flask or something. Like that's
Yeah,
that's
like the
very
same thing.
metaphorical.
You could put a flask in the Fountainhead. It's thick enough.
Yeah.
You could,
Yeah.
or like a bunch of weed.
What's your take on Air Brake Manual?
Fantastic read. I would recommend that to anybody.
The Nova Scotia air brake manual, not just any.
Nova Scotia Air Brake Manual. We should just have the books block your face the whole time.
Yeah.
Like we
Elvis
shouldn't even
told
mention
us.
the face reveal. It's just like we happen to have you out of frame the whole time. And we're like, oh, sorry. We like the camera was tilted too far down. Unfortunate.
You know, there's a good Simpsons bit about the Fountainhead where it's like the
The Ayn Rand School for Tots.
oh yeah, the Ayn Rand School for
Yeah.
Tots.
I talked about that in my tier list.
It's also in
very funny.
Futurama. I guess Matt Groening had like a bit hated Ayn Rand because in Futurama he's like at a bookstore and then goes to the children's section, and in the children's section it says like Atlas Shrugged and Fountainhead.
Icebergs versus tier list. Who wins?
I find icebergs are more fun, and that's why I have more of them. But I mean, I think they're both good formats.
Have you seen those anime battle TikToks where it's like strength, iceberg, tier list, fun, tier list? You know, it's like they like go over all the.
No,
No?
I haven't seen those. Sorry.
I'm a fan of the tier list, but
Yeah.
maybe you can make like a tier list iceberg tier list.
Have you made any iceberg videos?
I have made one about political ideology, descending the ideology iceberg.
How many hours did you get out of that? You got to crank that watch time up, baby. That's what
Oh, I think it was only like 20 minutes
oh, yeah.
because I heavily cut it.
Should do a number iceberg.
Yeah, at the top it's like Euler's number, pi, you know.
Yeah, we were talking about like future compass for our lives, like different possible potential futures for us, and one of them is definitely just like I make like just keep making like algorithm content, like tier list, number, iceberg.
At the bottom of the tier list,
with-
we have 9. 9's the
9 is the most depraved number.
A tier list where you're ranking, like S tier is like it's like D tier.
That's actually-
S tier is a D tier tier because why is it S?
That's actually been done like 5 years ago.
Yeah,
So like we have to like if you really want to be on top of the ball, you're gonna have to do something like really esoteric at this point
You
how
gotta
meta
keep
can you
innovating.
get? How many layers of inception can you fucking?
before it becomes just completely meaningless.
Yeah. How you have to derive some meaning from it.
I actually did film a number tier list, and like in between everyone, I was just like,
That's good. That's good content.
I used to have dreams. Anyway, I'm feeling pretty good about 5.
I'm so glad people seem to like my newest video because it's not an iceberg or a tier list.
Pareidolia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel free. Like that was a very liberating thing to see because now it's like, okay, I don't have to be like the iceberg guy forever.
Yeah. You don't want to be in a niche.
Wait.
Yeah.
Explain the pareidolia thing a bit because you dropped that like days before that AI generating
Yeah.
meme took off.
It's like the same sort of thing. I was focusing most on like noticing facial patterns in stimuli because that's like that one happens very often because we're like tuned to recognize faces. But it can happen with any visual pattern, just noticing patterns and things.
Well, Duncan releases the pareidolia video, then 2 days later, there's the AI generated landscapes that have faces in them. It's like you spoke that into the universe. Like you
Yeah.
made that video, and that idea was ready to harvest, and you harvested that idea, and fucking brought it to actuality.
I mean, I think that was already getting started. I think before, like while I was still working on the video, because I remember I was seeing those like the spiral pieces on Twitter,
Yeah.
like the spiral ones, and that uses the exact same tool. It's like some stable diffusion plugin that has like or a model where like you put in like a black and white image and it like and put in a prompt and it like fits the black and white image to the prompt based on like the lightness and darkness. And I think it was initially for like QR codes to like hide QR codes and things. But then people realized that you can do it with like literally any pattern.
Our thumbnail should be we use that and we like kite gay sex in there or something.
Duncan.
Yeah, I mean it's perfect for thumbnails because like thumbnails are smaller and it works better if it's like further away or like you squint your eyes a
That's
little
what
bit.
we'll do.
Yeah, the gay sex cats were great because you couldn't
Yeah.
see it, but then you'd see
You
like,
need to, like,
a little
squint.
one and like, oh, it just says gay sex.
Yeah,
It's like that really old meme where it's like when you see it, you'll shit bricks.
Yeah.
You know, do you remember that one?
yeah, that's a classic. Or when Brogan's painting or drawing, he's like this every 5 seconds. So you got to squint and see it.
You gotta stand back, see it as a whole instead of its parts.
But it can't say gay sex. That's too played out. It's got to say
Duncan.
Duncan.
Or just your face.
Yeah, my face hidden somehow.
So when we first met Duncan, we were trying to get you to rebrand your channel as Duncanology.
Yeah,
Why not Duncanology?
Because it's just not very
Duncanism?
good. Duncanism sounds like
Duncan Reed?
an ideology.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You said it sounded like a mental illness.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah, it sounds kind of like autism a little bit.
Dunkism.
Duncan Ree.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stick with my full legal name. I don't think I'll suffer any consequences for that going forward.
It's true. Duncan resolutely stuck to just calling himself Duncan until you. When did you change it to Duncan Clark?
I did it when I was approaching 100K because I wanted my plaque to say Duncan Clark.
Yeah. And if you kept it as Duncan, you'd be like competing with like some Minecraft YouTuber.
Yeah, there's like a big Minecraft YouTuber named Duncan.
Yeah.
So he's got the rights on that name.
JJ keeps wanting to rename his channel just JJ, but then he'd be competing with literally KSI.
Oh dear.
Because KSI's YouTube channel's name is just JJ.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, that's tough.
Impossible.
Oh my god. We should all convert to Minecraft YouTubers slowly.
I'm down.
That's the point of the studio, is just to get everyone into Minecraft YouTubing.
Yeah.
Like, hey, let's do like a humanities Minecraft server and like a philosophy Minecraft server, and like let's do a let's play every couple of days.
Yeah.
I found this guy's channel a while ago. Like it was like this really small channel, and he does like Minecraft let's plays where he will like he'll do a build or like do Minecraft gameplay and just like talk about like Christianity in the background.
Is it
And
Redeem Zoomer?
Yes,
Yeah,
that guy.
I love Redeem Zoomer.
Team Zoomer, yeah.
Yeah,
That
guy's
guy's the most autistic motherfucker I've ever seen in my life. Like, there's nothing more autistic than, like, you have, like, this model of, like, all the different denominations, and you're just, like, rambling off facts about them as you're building a chapel in Minecraft.
Yeah. Well, there was some weird homophobic stuff too in there. Like he found like a pride flag and like removed it and replaced it with like a chapel while talking about Christianity.
It was like 2B2T.
Yeah, something like that. It was,
Dang,
like,
I
very
can't
cringe.
believe Redeemed Zoomer is a homophobe. That's, like, blowing my mind.
Oh my fucking god.
I can't believe Tradcath1488 is a homophobe. This is awful.
I had so much respect for him until he did that.
I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, I agree. I don't agree with everything he's saying. I have this like unfinished skit, which is like guys like kill everyone in your path and rip them apart with your bare hands and your teeth until you're covered in their blood. And also, a lot of men feel invisible today. And then like there's a streamer and he's like, I don't agree with everything he's saying,
He's making some good
but
points.
he makes some good points.
Yeah. Do you think people that hold like a single bad opinion, like, do you think that writes off all the good takes they have?
No,
Yeah.
I don't think
I think
there's
it depends on the opinion.
I like, for example, like if someone has one centrist take and 9 extremist takes, then they're 90% good. It's a very nuanced philosophy within my brain.
You're doing like a Bayesian analysis of like a probabilistic model of their belief system.
Who's Bayes?
Bayes. It's like, I don't know. It's like making predictions with like math or something.
Yes, that's what I'm doing.
Bayesian analysis. It depends on the take.
Yeah.
It depends on the take. I think, it's more nuanced, right? Because if somebody touts an ideology and then they have a take that's like paradoxical to their ideology, it sort of writes off. Or like, I mean, if someone is like a violent offender, like a violent sex offender, it just sort of like writes off everything they do because it came from a corrupted source.
I completely disagree.
Yeah, or like Ted Kaczynski or
Ted
something. I think is a good example.
had a bunch of great points.
He made some good points.
He invented the concept of the surrogate activity, which is a very useful term, and I'm releasing a surrogate activity tier list soon on my main channel. He invented the concept of killing people with bombs, which I like that.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Up to
I'm not I'm getting better with high-fiving things.
yeah. No, bad guy, Ted Kaczynski.
I mean, that probably is one of the better examples because his
Totally wrong.
His book is very coherent.
Totally wrong about screens. I like spending 16 hours a day looking at mine personally.
Screens are good. Make sure to keep watching your screen. Don't look away.
This is good. This is good screen. You looked at bad screen all day. I think you deserve some good screen.
You deserve a break. Or you can listen to this while you're looking at bad screen. That's another thing.
We are your break.
This can get you through the day because like you can pretend like you have friends while you're working your stupid job that you hate. Or maybe you like your job, but maybe you just don't have friends. So we can be your friends in a way.
We're your friends.
Friendship
We're your
simulator.
break. We're your dopamine. We're the best part of your day.
It's so trippy, like, because I saw the previous episodes of this podcast in anticipation of doing my appearance, and it's weird It's weird listening to a podcast like Friendship Simulator type of vibe with people that you actually know in real life.
Yeah.
Like it's a very strange experience.
I know. I was watching Goku Naru's stream last night actually, and I was like, why am I doing this?
Yeah, that's a homie.
I actually, I don't know if I told that story last time, but I reconnected with a high school friend because he was watching me stream, and he was talking to me in the stream chat as if he was a viewer, and then finally texted me and was like, "Hey, I've been this guy for like 3 weeks watching your streams, talking to you, like having really personal conversations with you."
That's
He's
crazy.
like a guy I went to junior high with, and we like got drinks and reconnected.
That's awesome.
And he was like, "This was getting really weird," so I had to like reach out. I'm like, "That's good. I'm glad you reached out."
Yeah, I wonder how long he could have kept that going.
He was very engaging. Like, he would say things, because they're very similar people, and he would say things in the chat, and I'd be like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
Who's just dropping science in my chat all the time?
Yeah, it's like, oh man, I can imagine being friends with this guy almost.
Yeah, literally.
It's like I know this guy.
My exact thoughts. Oh my god.
What's the ideal number of hours to look at a screen per day?
I try to at least do a few without it. I don't know.
How's that going?
I mean, it could be better.
Yeah.
I'm having fun though.
How frequently do you manage to distance yourself from your screen? Like a week? Like days where you're only on the screen 14 hours a day.
I try most days. Like if I like lift weights or like go for a walk.
Are you listening to music while you're lifting weights?
Yes,
Yeah,
but
interesting.
that's not a screen though.
It's screen assisted.
Yeah.
Screen adjacent.
Screen adjacent.
Although sometimes I listen to brown noise, which is just like keeps me in the zone.
Have you ever thought about listening to nothing?
No. Must keep the thoughts at bay.
I think silence is unnatural. I think silence is fabricated. Silence is a modern fabrication. As an animal, we aren't meant to exist in silence. We're supposed to hear things all the time. And that's why silence makes us uncomfortable. It's not a problem with us. It's like a problem. We shouldn't have silence. We should always have ambient noise. That's where
Like nature sounds.
Yeah, that's what we exist in. That's why rain's so relaxing, because it's nature.
Yeah. Yeah, I can get behind that.
If all of us stopped talking for 1 minute, how quickly do you think we would lose retention because people can't stand silence?
Yeah, no dead air. Can't do dead air.
4 seconds.
4 seconds?
I think 4 seconds.
That might be an interesting experiment. We could do 10 seconds and we could look at like the retention graph and see if there's a drop off.
All right, well, we're coming up on the 39-minute mark.
Ten seconds.
That was fucking awful.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
I gotta watch the clock. I was engaged. I watched that number go up.
Yeah.
and
So you
that
still have
excited
like
me.
stimuli?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true, it's true. Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing too. It's
Never
like
doing that again.
in every public space pretty much there's always like they're blasting like music that like sucks or like, you know, top 40 whatever. But I feel like people still need that because if there was silence, I feel like everyone would go insane.
I like silence. There's like a bit of resistance when you're first hearing nothing, but then afterwards when you can actually hear your own thoughts, it's like nice.
Yeah.
And I hate being stimulated all the time. I genuinely hate it.
Are you a big meditator?
In theory. I mean, I meditated today.
Nice. I've kind of fallen off it. I used to do it a lot in university. I was
remember-
doing an hour a day for a while.
You're an hour a
Wow.
day.
Yeah.
Damn.
Did that for like a semester.
How'd that feel at the end of that? Did you notice a big difference?
Yeah, I definitely felt a lot better and like more attentive day to day.
I think I gotta live stream my meditation sessions.
That'd be
monetize
great.
that meditation.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Super
Yeah,
chats.
what's the point of doing anything if you can't do that?
Yeah.
TTS, interrupt my meditation. I notice whenever I meditate and have a practice of it, the best way to describe the benefits is like my thoughts are less heavy. Like I just feel lighter. I feel like I walk around, my conversations are light, my thoughts are light.
Yeah, like you don't take your thoughts as seriously. I
Yeah,
feel
everything
like
flows quite nicely.
yeah.
Would you rather get ripped apart by wolves to death or release 2 10 out of 10 YouTube videos in a row?
The YouTube videos probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What if? Okay. Would you rather get bitten by a wolf, like really badly, but you will recover in like 3 weeks, or release 2 10 out of 10 videos in a row?
Are you just gonna keep moving
Yeah.
the goalpost?
We're seeing where the line is.
I think I would. My line would be like, I don't know.
Would you rather have a train run on your girl?
The inside joke there is like most podcasts is just like bros like walking up to people and be like, "Would you rather have a train run on your girl?" We're just running with that.
Those are important questions. Yeah, that's an important question.
Okay, I'm immediately going off this train of thought. Train. Okay, wolf bite or 10 out of 10s?
I feel like I'd still take the 10 of 10s. You know,
Really? Okay,
it's
okay.
not that bad.
All right. Now let's make it even less bad. A swarm of bees.
Just like
Stinging
I mean,
your face.
I would like take like maybe a little bit of pain if it doesn't leave any permanent damage to over 2 10 of 10s.
Yeah, bees will just make you sleepy.
Yeah.
Is that how it works?
Yeah, a couple bee stings. I'll take a nap after that.
All right, now why don't you ask me that question?
Would you rather be stung by a swarm of wasps or release 2 10 out of 10 videos?
Wasps.
How about your initial wolves one?
Yes.
Really? Like you'd take the wolves.
Would you would
I
die?
I would take the wolves just in general. It's like, would you rather die or yes, yes.
10 out of 10 is not that bad.
And for the uninitiated, 10 of 10 is bad. 10 out of 10 makes it sound like it's a good thing, but
Yeah, that's one of YouTube's 1984 tricks.
Yeah, it means that your
They're
YouTube
double
video
speak.
performed worse than your 10 previous YouTube videos.
yeah.
So
And you don't want that.
the worst thing that could ever happen to you.
Yeah.
Kids, if you're watching this at home, I want you to cut off all sources of joy in your life except the YouTube algorithm, the joy that the YouTube algorithm gives you. And then I want you to get all of your money to come from that YouTube algorithm. And then I want you to just have all of your eggs in that basket. And then I want you to get a 10 out of 10. See how it feels.
YouTube Studio app.
Keep it
I
on
mean,
your
that's the
phone.
thing. I feel like I love numbers going up. Everybody loves numbers going up. But numbers going down,
You're
not a big fan.
No, it
RuneScape
doesn't-
fan.
Doesn't
Yeah.
hit.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about that game is the numbers don't go down.
The numbers only go up.
They only go
Yeah.
up. Yeah. Imagine you woke up and you hadn't cut enough wood, so like your skill went down.
Yeah, that would suck.
Dang.
Or like cookie clicker. Like you can only gain cookies. You can't
True.
lose them.
But that's not how life works. You're losing cookies all the time.
Yeah.
You can replace Cookie Clicker or RuneScape or like World of Warcraft with YouTube Studio. It's the same game. It occupies the same place in your head.
Yeah, I mean there's that sense of like grinding and like the number and also just like once you get that level in the game, then like you're working towards it, but the fun part isn't getting the level, the fun part is the working towards it, and it's the same with YouTube.
That's what they tell me.
That's what we're telling him.
Yeah.
It's not really clicking though. Rogan's like, I want to wake up tomorrow and have Mr. Beast in the studio. I'm like, you should probably enjoy the process.
No.
Yeah.
Refuse to enjoy the process.
Based.
I thought Mr. Beast was a banned term in
It
the
is.
studio.
That's my mistake. I have to have 100 lashings because of that. We have a list of banned words in the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to atone with self-flagellation.
Self-flagellation. Yeah. Get a whip in the stewed. Whip in the stewed
Whipping the stew?
for some self-flag.
Stewed.
Yeah.
Self-flag for the whip in the stewed.
Yeah, we're developing a whole language.
Yeah.
They need to be like fucking Oblivion traps where you like cross the tripwire and it just hits you in the back.
Dead air.
I thought you're just clicking your jaw.
Yeah, I got arthritis.
So you have to unlock the jaw.
Oh, that's the worst. Did your jaw lock?
Yeah.
That's the worst feeling.
Yeah, it's because of arthritis. Because your jaw's got cartilage, and I have arthritis. My body's eating itself. I'm dying.
Greg has arthritis, and the most prominent and visible side effect is a huge jawline.
Yeah, it forces my jaw to go out. So,
Do you have like mixed feelings on the whole thing, or is it a net negative for sure?
definitely positive. I'd rather die at 30 with a good jaw.
Your head's like trapezoid shaped. Like it comes out, it slants outwards to your jawline. It's insane.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Truly.
I was on a podcast with a girl, and she was like, "Have you heard about mewing?" I was like, "No, my body's just falling apart."
You look like you mew. That jawline makes me think of mewing.
Yeah. I mean, I think maybe realistically it would be better if I didn't die. Like if my body wasn't eating itself.
Yeah, I mean that sucks.
But fasting works and not eating sugar works. So
And it makes you faster.
Yeah, it's true.
Mm.
I haven't eaten today at all. My mind is liquid sharp.
Liquid sharp.
Liquid sharp. Liquids are famously sharp.
Ow.
I forget what philosopher it was, but he didn't eat until 3. I think it was Spinoza. I think didn't eat till like 3 p.m.
Oh.
And that was his reasoning. Is that it just made you feel really good.
What philosopher has like the best life story, like the coolest life story, the most aspirational life story for you?
I think the way that Albert Camus died is pretty badass.
Yeah?
That's
like
pretty badass.
like he was
He was pushing a boulder up and he crushed him.
that would be very funny. Yeah, no, he was like gonna get on this train to like go to a New Year's party or come home from a New Year's party
Get
or
his
something.
girl off that train before it's
And he had the ticket to go on the train, but like last minute he decided to take the car instead, and the car crashed and he died.
Oh,
and he still
dang.
had the train ticket in his pocket.
Dang.
You know, he hated cars. He worked in
Yeah.
an automobile factory in his 20s, and he hated cars. He hated that job, and he thought cars were death traps, and he refused to ever take cars.
Yeah, and that was
was
like the one time he did.
Yeah, it was one of the first
Wow.
first time he was in a car in like 10 years.
His
And
suspicions
he
were
fucking
right.
died.
You know, that is actually an aspirational story.
Yeah, I mean that wasn't the point of the story. I just thought it was a cool story.
I want that for me.
To die in a car accident
Sure.
after missing a train.
I just like I think it's
The specifics
it's-
aren't that
It's
important.
just a fascinating death because it's like there's an irony to it. You know,
Right.
I want to die ironically.
There's an absurdism to it.
Yes,
Yeah, there's some
exactly.
absurdity.
There's a futility.
I've always thought if I got like cancer or something, I would schedule a post when I look really healthy 6 months after I know I'm going to die. And then I'd be like, psych!
Psych,
You
I'm
idiots
actually-
bought it. I'm actually alive on a farm somewhere, enjoying my life.
Oh my god. Albert Camus, did he fucked, right?
No, I mean
Oh,
he had to.
absolutely.
He was an
Fuck.
attractive man.
Yeah. Like, because most philosophers, Sartre hated sex. He thought sex was. He wrote a whole play about how gooey he thought sex was. He thought sex was so icky and gooey. He wrote a play about it. The whole play is like allegory for how disgusting sex is.
Norm has that take. Norm Macdonald.
Here's sex.
At later in life, he was on a podcast. Everyone thought he was kind of being ironic. They were like, but he's like, sex is disgusting, and I don't want to do it.
I mean, I feel like it would get more disgusting the older you get. You know what I mean?
I don't remind me.
Although old people still have like active sex lives, which is
True.
good for them.
But that's
Good for them.
another reason why you got to get it out of your system now.
Yeah. You gotta find a wife young so that you are attracted to her out of love when you're in your 60s.
Yeah. If you're 25 and you're not banging right now, you should feel bad.
It's over for you.
You should feel even worse than you already do because there's enough reasons to feel bad about it. But if you're listening to this now, I hope you feel even worse. Hope you associate our podcast with bad times.
Yes. Your break.
I got a 10 out of 10 video today.
Did you actually?
Yeah, shit.
Damn.
The thumbnail just was not on point. Also, I haven't been posting as frequently as I should have, but I'm going to start posting every like two days. Brogan's going to hold me to it.
We have to take that
ABP, man. Always
Three-
be
three
posting.
ABP.
3 days.
3 days?
3 days till the 1st of December.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah. We have to change the timer, though. We have a whiteboard in the studio that it's like how many days since a 10 out of 10 video. The same way factories have how many days since an accident. And we got 25 days.
Yeah, now I've set it back to 0.
Now we set it back to 0, which
Yeah.
is fine.
That's how it goes.
It's gonna happen though.
Yeah, it is going to happen.
Yeah. It happened, and now it's happened. Now we know how it feels when it happens.
Yeah.
And all I feel is that I want to make you work harder.
Yeah.
It makes me feel more love for your career.
Dang.
Yeah, I do feel like there is like a paradox there. Like I feel like if I have a very well performing video, I'm a lot less motivated to make more videos.
Yeah.
Because I just look at the
Like,
numbers and
fucking
I
made it. I'm coasting.
Yeah.
I just look at the
definitely get
numbers and I'm like,
coasting.
oh sweet, the numbers are still going up. I don't have to do anything. It's
Yeah,
great.
and then enough time passes, and then you're like, I really should post another video, but what if I ruin my,
Yeah, because it's a nice feeling when your most recent video is well performing.
Yeah.
Because then if you post another one and it flops, it's like, oh well.
yeah.
Yeah.
In my flop era. You kept going because you had a few videos that didn't do
Yeah,
well.
I
compared
had
to-
a flop era for sure.
Yeah, you just pushed right through it.
Peaks and
Yeah.
troughs. That's just like with any business. You have ups and downs. It can't always be growth.
Well, I got out of my flop era by just making another iceberg video. That's my tried and true method.
All this to say is I need to start making some political garbage again, some reactionary political garbage, day.
Your mental illness videos do pretty well though too, right?
Yeah. I'm working on a DSM-6 patch notes update video. Like we make people with BPD 20% hotter to balance it out.
Yeah.
We make we improve the number of multiple personalities you can have in your brain from 7 to 9. It's like a video game.
I think that would do really well. I think people really liked the video gamification of life, like
Yeah.
Tier Zoo and that sort of
It's
thing.
because we play video games more than we engage with life.
Yeah.
You can also talk about video games and say nothing. It's like the Red Pill podcast. You can just like say things about video games, and keep saying things, and there's no academia, there's no logic or canon behind
You're
it.
just positing.
You just pause it,
Pause it
and it doesn't
wildly.
matter because it's a virtual world, and
We're thirsty for people positing wildly.
yeah.
I
If
love
you
to
just
pause it.
if you just made like mental illnesses as fetishes, video
That would blow up. Yeah.
It would do so well.
I just had a real jump in my suicidal ideation.
as soon as I said that.
Yeah, we're just like recommending the most like cynical, view-hungry videos there are.
Yeah.
That'd be fun to make. Mental illnesses as fetishes. You have to like think about that like a little bit, Like what fetish is autism?
All of them. Basically everyone. Every single one.
Or like being vanilla, maybe.
The people
That's
that,
like neurotypical.
the people that collect kink gear endlessly and like don't actually use it. They just keep buying.
That's
fucking
like Death Drive,
Death Drive.
but for fetishes.
See, the video writes itself.
My suicide note also does. Sorry, I'm gonna become more normal right now. Okay,
Nice.
Duncan,
What's up?
would you rather get a train?
You guys have like two questions. Like, why haven't you killed yourself? Or like the train question.
We have to have a third one. It's the third episode of the podcast.
The third question.
Do you want to show off your Goo Farm shirt?
Yeah, unofficial sponsor of the not unofficial. They don't even know the podcast exists. This is Goo Farm.
Shout out Goo Farm.
Shout out to Goo Farm on Instagram. They hand draw T-shirts.
Yeah, we get nothing from this. We just like their work,
The Jack guy says, "I don't know who I am."
and it looks like Brogan.
Hand drawn, commissioned it myself. They did such a good job.
How much? $80?
$80.
That's a steal.
I thought it was a steal. They said $70 plus shipping for a commission, and I said that's fucking insane. People draw like furry porn line art on iPads for more than that.
Yeah.
I got
The
it.
AIs are going to take those jobs though,
As
which
they
is
should.
a tragedy.
As they should. No one needs those jobs.
They do it out of love.
I know.
Love of the game.
I know a guy personally who makes 90% of his income anonymously creating furry porn, completely anonymously. He's like not proud of it. He hates it, but it's the majority of his income.
Pause it.
Pause it.
Like, let's say there's a group of impressionable young people watching you right now, and the world is confusing noise to them, and they're looking for you right now, and they want you to pause it wildly. What's your pause it?
This is a terrible question. This is way too broad.
I think it's a perfect question.
Like, what do you mean pause it? Like, just like
What do you like to
a notion?
Yeah.
Like, just like,
Give us a hot take.
A conclusion. What do you like to think about?
Conclude something that people wouldn't have heard before,
An
but you can
aha
back
moment.
up.
like just a hot take on literally anything?
Yeah. Maybe make it a philosophy hot take.
I already kind of had one, but it's not philosophy. I think video games get too much of a bad rap. I mean, I stopped playing video games a lot, like a couple years ago, and my life improved. But I've been slowly introducing like maybe a couple hours a week, and it's just fun. You know, It's
You have a
fun.
healthy relationship with them.
Yeah, and I think that's like because some people are like, "Oh, it'll ruin your life, it'll destroy your life, it's so bad." But I don't think I think you can do it in a balanced way. You know?
That's a terrible hot take.
Yeah.
It's not.
I mean, it's not that hot of a
not
take.
hot at all.
Yeah. I mean, I guess in the context of like, self-improvement people, they're like video games are the devil. You should never do them.
I agree with you. I agree with that statement. Not like your statement. Not the. Not
I
the
think video
self-improvement
games are the
people.
devil.
No.
Yeah. I think they're bad, and in all circumstances, even if you only play an hour a day.
I mean, I think life is all about just like maximizing like interesting experiences, and I think video games can provide that.
I have a bad relationship with video games.
Yeah.
I would play them obsessively.
There was a point in my life where I was like that too. Like I would like avoid social events in order to like play games. And that wasn't good for me.
You play Starfield.
I have been playing Starfield.
Garfield. Jim Davis.
Playing Garfield. Actually, I kind of hate it. I feel like I'm forcing myself to play it. 'Cause I haven't played video games in so long, and I sit down and like play. I'm like, why? I just feel no drive to do it. It's also a broken fucking mess. I've had to force complete quests with console commands like 5 times because the quests are broken.
Damn.
Like main plot quests, like I can't continue in the game.
What video game are you playing it at, healthfully?
Couple weeks back, I beat Red Dead Redemption 2, which was very fun. I'm kind of late to the party on that one, but it was a very fun game, very well made.
How did that make you money?
It didn't. I suppose I could have. If I became a Twitch streamer though, I could have made money off it.
You should consider Twitch streaming.
No,
Stream your gaming addiction.
I feel like streaming would ruin my life.
Yeah.
I want to do it, but also I feel like it would be bad for me.
That's what new. Anytime anyone says anything, I'm gonna follow up with, "How did that make you money?"
How did that make you money?
Yeah.
Oh, my dad died last week, and I can't cope, and I just been sitting at home. Like, oh, how did that make you money?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I had dinner with my girlfriend last night. Oh, how'd that make you money? In fact, did you lose money?
Did you
with
lose money?
You
Negative
lost.
investment.
You lost money.
Hold on.
Are you telling me you?
So not only were you not
spent
working,
money?
but you were spending money on someone else. You paid for her meal.
Have you ever heard of spend money to make money? You spent money and you didn't even make money.
Well, maybe it is an investment. Maybe she'll make you money in the long run. Because
Yeah, two income household.
yeah,
Should
she-
make
That's
you-
valuable these days.
She'll make you a kid. That kid's gonna be the next Michael Jordan, next Jeff Bezos.
you like no guys, you don't understand. I'm playing the long game.
Oh, okay, I see.
I'm gonna have the LeBron James of children.
How do you feel about Grussel culture? Because this is a Grussel household, so watch your mouth.
You've kind of been like gaslighting me into thinking it's good, but you know I think there's a balance somewhere in there. I do think like in terms of productivity and like working on things, you have to kind of force yourself to do it a lot of the time, because if you only do, especially creative work where there's no like active push for you to do it, you kind of have to force yourself to do it. If you only do it when you feel like motivated to do it, you just won't do it enough. At least in my case.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. You
gotta do it on the days where you don't feel like it.
yeah, gotta show up
Yeah.
every day. Gotta wake up. Gotta go to work. Doesn't matter how you feel. Gotta produce content for YouTube.com. It's a war.
I love videos of Andrew Tate talking about how much he works, and you can tell he's sad. Like you can tell, like he's just complaining about. He's somehow arrogantly complaining about how much he works, and how little free time he has, and how little like community he has, and you can see it peppered into like. It sounds like he's bragging about how much he works, but he's really actually quite upset about it.
Yeah, you can kind of sense a sort of neuroticism emanating.
Like with most of those people,
I've never heard of Andrew Tate actually. Who's he?
Yeah, who's that?
He's just a guy. He's just like one of those men's guys. Like I don't know.
Imagine if I hadn't heard of Andrew Tate. Yeah, I'm like, who is that?
Explaining some internet character to a normal person is kind of hilarious.
Yeah, because
They're like,
you assume.
does he have
just,
like what's his credentials? Is he like is he an academic or no? He's just a guy. He's
just some guy.
He yells a lot.
It is like a very strange experience when like, yeah, you're like, oh yeah, this internet thing, this internet drama, this internet person, and you're talking to like a normal person, and they're like, what are you talking about? Mm-hmm. Like it snaps you back to your reality where you're like, oh yeah, that's all fake.
It's so secular. It's crazy.
It's hanging out with Sisyphus's friends. Friend of the pod, Sisyphus 55. All very
Friend
normal.
of the show.
All very normal people.
Yeah,
He surrounds himself with normal people. So
I met some of his friends a while ago.
Yeah, he's like insulated from the madness a little bit.
yeah.
That's what happens if you surround yourself with like YouTubers. You just like inundate yourself with the madness, and there's a balance.
Yeah.
And I've chosen to ignore that balance. Up top, hey.
I still have a group of normal friends, which is nice.
Lame.
No.
Have you tried indoctrinating them into like making content on the internet?
I actually have, which like, I had a weird realization with that, where like, I kind of assumed everybody wants to do something like this because I've always wanted to do this type of thing. But a lot of people just don't want to.
Yeah, some people have no interest.
And then I'm like,
crazy to me.
oh yeah, that makes sense. Like, it is kind of a weird thing to want, you know?
Power and money and fame and success and attention.
Yes, but like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people just don't want fame and attention. Some people just don't like being perceived.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think they're coping. Whenever I've had that conversation with my friends too, and I just think they're lying to themselves.
I don't think that's true. I thought that for a while, but I think some people generally, like, if they got famous, they would hate it.
Where do you fall on that spectrum? I can sense you have some resistance towards being a public figure.
I guess it's just very new, but I definitely want it. I definitely want people to experience the things that I create. I think that's very important to me.
Well, it would be genuinely horrible to be like a child actor, and then
Yes,
just
yeah.
you're famous like your whole childhood. You're like a Shia LaBeouf or like a Miley Cyrus, and then you're like your entire existence, your entire conscious existence is just you like not being able to go outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like That's So Raven.
Like That's So Raven.
The Raven from That's So Raven. Didn't work out well for her.
Or
Did it-
like
no,
encountering
did it not?
No, I
There's
mean,
no way
like,
she's that famous that she can't like leave. I wouldn't.
no,
know
no,
her
it's not
myself.
like she can't leave, but it's like she'll never live up to what she was.
Yeah, like she fell off, is what you're saying.
I guess, like, in a way, yeah. And
It's
like,
so over.
yeah, like your mind, you as a kid, like your mind warps around this hierarchy of like YouTube, and then you're like, okay, this is the only hierarchy that matters, and you forget about the other hierarchies, and then you're not top of the hierarchy anymore. You're just feeling sad for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and I feel like if you were like hyper famous, like, you know, wouldn't be able to go get groceries famous, you would I would get like so in my head about like people taking advantage of me. Like if I'm meeting someone and they like want to be my friend, like you'd have the thought in the back of your mind, it's like, oh, do they just want me for my clout?
Right.
You know, I feel like that would destroy my brain.
I think that all the time. I'm like, I sure hope they want me for my clout.
Yeah. You want that?
Oh yeah. What is the philosophical idea that you're the most interested in, but you know the least about?
Oh, that's a really good question. A lot of political philosophy. I haven't formally read a lot of political philosophy.
Me neither.
I've read some of it, and I've had conversations. Like all my roommates in university were like poli-sci majors, so I've like talked to them a lot about political philosophy and ideologies, but I've never like taken a course or like read many books about it.
And your political philosophy right now is being lived out, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty. I'm pretty lib. Yeah. Yeah. Best area of philosophy though, most interesting to me, consciousness studies. I think that's super cool because that's all there is. It's consciousness
What do you think about panpsychism?
based.
Yeah?
I think it's really cool. I mean, I think some flavors of it could be better. I think it's cool though. I think like a kind of Alfred North Whitehead pan-experientialism. That's probably what I lean towards most these days. I think that's very fun.
What is experientialism for the audience? Not for me.
It's like the idea that like consciousness, we can't account for consciousness emerging from physical processes. So therefore, it's all consciousness all the way down even into like subatomic particles. Like they're just like these little guys with like very basic, like rudimentary awareness. And that's cool.
Is the Earth like hyper aware because it's big?
Yeah, I guess you can go in both levels of abstraction too, where like you get like celestial systems that are also conscious in
But they
some
don't
way.
need to be conscious.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there are
Like we're
arguments, too.
conscious because we need consciousness to evolve.
Do we though?
Yeah, because it helps us. Like we have to make decisions, like complicated decisions. Where a galaxy.
But if decisions are just brain activity, and if you're like an anti-free will guy, then why aren't we just automatons where like our brains, neurons are firing, decisions get made, signals get sent to our muscles, we do the action, fully no consciousness at all. That's entirely conceivable.
I think humans can navigate the 5D plane of alternate timelines. That's what makes us special.
You think we need consciousness for that?
Consciousness is like a testing ground of ideas. Like, because you can fire like multiple logic problems at once in your head and like find conclusions in your head at the same time. And consciousness is the space in which that happens.
But all the physicalist people would be like, oh, well, that all of that happening is reducible to activity in the brain. So if it's all reducible to activity in the brain, then why isn't it just activity in the brain? Like, why do we have to have the what it is likeness of that happening?
This is why I'm a religious man. Yeah.
Damn, we really speed ran 3 white dudes talking about consciousness on a podcast.
Yeah. I need to make videos about that. I want to make like a whole series on consciousness. I think that would be fun.
Consciousness iceberg?
No. No more icebergs. No more. Until I have a 10 of 10 video,
Dang.
I won't make any more icebergs.
You heard it here first,
At
folks.
the bottom of the iceberg, we have DMT. Well, I mean, consciousness is like a light switch. Like, you can't... There's no gradient of consciousness. It's like things are conscious or they aren't conscious. Like, a fly isn't...
Panpsychists would disagree. I think they'd say there's a gradient.
But, like, a fly isn't less conscious than a human.
It's just
like,
not conscious. It's just not conscious.
If it wasn't... Yeah, if it's either not conscious or it is conscious.
What about like an ape?
It's as conscious. Consciousness, like, just the
No, I think there's a gradation for sure.
No,
like,
strip away the senses. Strip away like hearing and smell. Like if you stripped away all your senses, you would still be conscious. Like you still have an experience. And whether like what's going on in that experience, no matter how simple that experience is,
it's the same thing. Yeah, I see
the
what
same
you're getting
thing.
at.
Yeah, the same core.
There's less like depth and variety to it, but it's still the same thing.
The light switch is on. Like it
Yeah.
can't, it's either on or off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I follow that.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's more like a dimmer.
Yeah, like one of the fancy light switches. Yeah.
Nah,
I don't know, maybe.
it's God. It's all God. We're all representations of God.
I mean, Spinoza is really based too. Like he was basically a panpsychist pretty much.
Spinoza.
World soul type stuff.
What is your favorite theory of consciousness?
I mean, yeah, pan-experientialism.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a fun one.
Yeah. I need to actually read Whitehead's Process and Reality, though.
Why this simulation theory, is that something that gave you like a immediate negative reaction, or is that something you had to like really think about and then come to the conclusion that it was wrong?
That's an interesting question. I think I had an immediate negative reaction to it because I had already thought a lot about consciousness before I found out about it, and then I did, and I'm like, no, that's all wrong. It's not computers. It's something, but it's not computers. You know.
What if we just started glitching out? Would you like change your mind?
Yeah, I mean that's like I feel like the simulation guys are so annoying because they're always talking about like hacking the simulation and like finding glitches in the matrix, and it's like that can't happen.
There's glitches in the Matrix. When you bartend, and everyone orders an espresso martini, even though they didn't talk to each other, and you don't make them for like 3 weeks, and then one night everyone orders espresso martini, or like a Boulevardier, like a really specific cocktail, like a fucking paper plane, and you'll make like 20 paper planes, even though everyone in the restaurant isn't talking to each other.
This is that's
like
Chad
synchronicity,
bartender
right?
reveal, by the way.
I was a bartender 5 years ago, but I've been a famous YouTuber ever since.
Yeah.
So back
Yeah.
when I used to bartend,
Right. Yeah, he has a lot of experience
way back
with it.
then.
way back then. And I always imagine it like the system is updating and it has to operate on like a lower power mode those nights.
I think I hate the computer metaphor for it so much.
Yeah.
I hate it. Yeah, I don't think it works.
I've always felt like it's just like people who have stared at a computer all day, every day, can only see things in computer terms.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I think a lot of scientific theories or like philosophical theories can be tied to the best technology at the time. Like the expression of like blowing off steam with like emotions and psychology. Like that became a thing when the steam engine was like the most sophisticated technology we had. And so we just use technology as analogies to understand ourselves in the world all the time.
I'm gonna make Duncan in a computer, and then I'm gonna ask computer Duncan all these questions.
Duncan GPT.
Duncan GPT, and Duncan GPT is gonna be like simulation theories, bogus, beep boop.
I mean, that works with like samsara, like the cycle of life and death. It corresponds with when we just came up with recurring calendars. And we're like, wait a minute, it's all a cycle. Everything's a cycle. We just invented the clock.
Do you think we'll ever? Because you're a little AI skeptical, right? Like, do you think we'll ever make like universes?
With the current methods, no. Like I don't think
You don't think we'll ever be able to create consciousness?
no, not with deep learning, not with the types of computers we have right now. I don't think so. Because consciousness isn't a computation.
I have a method of creating consciousness. My dick. Hey, up top. Yeah.
All up top that
Up
one.
top. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, true. Good point.
Most powerful computer in existence.
Fucking cock. Hey, it's true. You know, the whole mystery of life is contained within the single egg of a flea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's like one of my favorite like stoner thoughts of like, it's like, you know, imagine an ant underneath a refrigerator, and he spends his entire existence under that refrigerator, and the entire world he knows is the surface like of that little space in between the refrigerator. He doesn't even know there's like an earth or like other animals or anything outside of that. But what if we're the ant, man? What if our perception is that limited?
I believe it. Because it's just like, you know, it's like playing Mario, and then Mario can see like left and right, but he can't see. If he's a conscious creature, he couldn't see out at you in the third dimension, and we can't see the fourth dimension, so we could be being observed in the fourth dimension. But we have no concept of like that perception.
We are being observed by like our future selves. They're looking back.
And they're like, oh.
Yeah.
It was similar back then.
What if our whole existence is us as like we're about to die, reflecting on our life, and our life is just like flashing.
It's the whitest podcast I've ever.
What is it with middle class young white men and consciousness? What's the deal?
What's the
deal
deal?
with that? I mean, I'm that exact guy, and I'm like, I try to be self-aware about how like hilarious it is to be that guy,
even.
self-conscious about it. But it's still, it's fun.
Yeah.
You know?
I
It's a
mean,
fun
you
time.
shouldn't step away from who you are.
Yeah.
Even if who you are is a little stereotypical.
Camera there, camera there, camera there.
You're going to be perceived by 3,000 people on this podcast.
Is this like a thing you're doing there?
Yeah, we kill you at the end.
Yeah, but I'm just really.
That's it.
That's
over.
it. Okay,
Yeah.
nice. That was fun.